Okay, well, I think we'll make a start, or wait, so
Go for it. Go for it.
we'll make a start. I'm sure she'll get the gist. So I want to welcome you all here this afternoon for the first in our Lean In Leadership series. So for those of you that maybe haven't been involved in Lean In very long, it has been going in Belfast, I think, for almost 2 years. Started as a small circle, and obviously a few of you, I'm sure, were at the launch last month, where we've taken it to a whole new level. And as a part of that, we've created a programme of Lean In Leadership Learning events across the year, and this is the first of these. So welcome to you all. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to be trying out different things, so we're going for a workshop style today. And you know, we may try something different in the next one. It's all just seeing what works, because previously we were working with much smaller numbers than we are now. So it looks like we've lost our projector, but that doesn't matter because I can talk anything anyway. So today's all about learning to lean in, and I was thinking about this. I was at a learning event myself last week, and I always feel like, you know, we're 2 years into this, maybe we should all know how to lean in by now. But I was at this event, and it was only in the break one of the women said to me, have you noticed that all the men, and there was less men than women in the room, are dominating the conversation, and that our ideas are being claimed, and, you know, nobody's saying anything about it. I think we need to behave a little differently. And I was so annoyed at myself that that I'd allowed that to happen. So there's a very big difference between knowing and doing. I felt like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this for quite a while, and yet I still got caught out. And that's because we're conditioned in a certain way. So these are all things that we're going to be looking at over the next year. But today it's very much about what does lean in mean, and how can we do it for ourselves, and how can we do it for each other. So, and as a result of that incident last week, I thought maybe it's time that I refresh myself on the book, because it's been a couple of years since I read it. And one of the things really stood out to me, and that was, what would you do if you weren't afraid? Are we getting picture answer? So I'll wait till he brings the picture up for that. I want to say thank you, obviously, to Allstate for hosting us here. We're working together now. If you want to tweet about the event today, the hashtag is #AllTogetherNI. So please do. It helps people bring a bit of publicity to the event, helps people see what's happening, and if you get useful things from it, then that's a great way of tweeting about it. So hopefully you can see, when I was refreshing on the book, one of the messages that stood out to me was, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And the reason that stood out to me was because about 3 weeks ago I was at the park with my daughter, and she's 4 years old. And she wanted to get up. There's a big high wall that goes around the perimeter of the play park, and she wanted to get up on it and walk around it. So she climbed up. She's quite adventurous. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And she got up there and she went, Mommy, I'm really scared. And just as I was about to say, you'll be okay, just go for it, she went, but I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway. And took me arms out and started walking. And I thought, I've got to take a picture of that, because that is really what it's all about. So I think if we could all take a leaf out of my elite out of her book and just say,
yet I'm really scared I'm going to do it anyway. Because I know I'm scared every flipping day doing my job, and you just got to go for it. That's one of the elements of leaning in. We're going to look at more of that as we go through today. So I'm going to introduce myself, and Lisa's going to introduce herself, and we're going to be taking you through the sections. If you want to come in and grab a seat. Yeah, come on. I don't expect you to stand there all, so just wherever you can get a space. So I'm Sinead, Sharkey or Stevenson, depending on where you know me from. So Stevenson's my married name, but I just haven't got the hang of using 12 years later. So I like Sharkey and I tend to stick with it a little bit. Well, I'm a career and leadership coach for women. So I've had a long history working in corporate, working in business development, continuous improvement, and coaching in leadership development. And I took the very brave step of being scared and doing it anyway last year when I started my own business, Generation Women, and took the step of becoming a career and leadership coach for women. So, you know, when you're at work and you feel like you're working really hard, you're getting great results, but nobody's noticing you. Or maybe you see a great job coming up and you think, I would love to go to that, but there's just something that stops you. Or maybe you feel like you're not having the impact and influence you want in the workplace. Well, that's what I do. I work with you to develop your personal brand, to help you build your impact, your influence, your confidence, so that you can go for the jobs that you really want to, so that you can get up and deliver powerful, impactful presentations, and so that you can rise and shine in the workplace and achieve whatever it is you want. A rise and shine is what I'm all about, helping you be your absolute best. I'm also the leader of the Women's Equality Party in Northern Ireland, and I'm doing that because I got fed up shouting at the TV about how bad things are, and it's election day here. Sadly we don't have a candidate, but things can be different, so we're focused on campaigning for affordable childcare, to reduce the gender pay gap or eliminate it, but hopefully we'll get there soon. End domestic violence and all the issues that are about women. So it's a non-partisan party, which I think is a breath of fresh air for Northern Ireland. And obviously I'm standing here today because I'm the Director of Leadership Development for Lean In. So myself, Lisa, and the team here at Allstate have, as Nuala likes to say, curated a wonderful programme of events for the next year for you. And unfortunately Nuala can't be here today, but she says a big hello to you all, and she's hopefully watching on Facebook Live, so we can say hello to her. And I'd like to introduce you to Lisa, who's going to be helping deliver today.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Strutt. I am absolutely delighted to be here. I'm so excited about this opportunity that we'll have for the year ahead. I'm in front of the slide, sorry. So I put up there the various different things that I do, because when someone asks you to send in a slide of what you do, you start scratching your head and think, well, how can I narrow it down to one thing? Because I do so many different things. And when I was about 5, apparently I wanted to be a nurse. I'm not a nurse, I'm a collaborator and someone who works with partnerships to achieve crazy, audacious outcomes that they wouldn't be able to achieve on their own. And I've done that for around 20 years in local government. And last year I returned to Northern Ireland after nearly 20 years living abroad in England, Portugal and Italy. And I've been wondering, what am I going to do? How am I going to build my life here in Northern Ireland after 20 years living away? I know I haven't lost the accent, it's still the same. And I got to thinking about all the work that I'd done building relationships and connections around the world. And I found out about a program called referral marketing. And so I went to San Francisco last year and became a licensed trainer in referral marketing, which helps organizations, businesses and entrepreneurs grow their business through tapping into their wider networks, essentially building their relationships. And so I've taken all the work that I've done, coaching and consulting in local government and working with multi-agency partnerships, and brought that to a training program that I'm launching here in Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland over the next few months. So that's a bit about me. I didn't think I would grow up and want to be a collaborator or a Prince's Trust mentor or a training and development leader, but I'm all those things, and I'm really proud to be all those things, and I hope that over the course of the year, as I get to know many of you, that I'll be able to work with you and encourage you on your Lean In journey here with Sinead. So we're going to move on to think about why we're here and where the Lean In journey started with Sheryl Sandberg, and just watch this short video, not the food TED Talk, which is 20 minutes, which you can watch if you get a chance, if you haven't already.
Sorry.
Well, you can still look at me in my nurse's uniform. No comments.
This was working, of course.
I was 5. I'm still wearing, Angela pointed out, I still wear, blue jackets.
I entered the workforce believing that my generation was going.
It will come back, I hope. Sorry. You shouldn't have left me in charge of anything technical whatsoever. We thought we had it sussed. We'll just have to play it on small screen.
I entered the workforce believing that my generation was going to have equal responsibility and equal opportunity. And it didn't work out that way. Women are getting more college degrees, more graduate degrees, entering the workforce at every level. But in industry after industry, women are at 18, 15, 20% of the top jobs. Women are held back by many things. We're held back by bias, by lack of flexibility, by lack of opportunity. We also hold ourselves back. We don't sit at the table, we don't raise our hands, we don't let our voices be loud enough. I remember my first day at Facebook, driving to this new job and this hard job and not being sure I could do it. I think about all the moments when I just didn't believe in myself. Every test I was sure I was about to fail. Every job I wasn't sure I could do. It was after watching so many women quietly lean back, after watching myself quietly lean back and miss opportunities, that I started to see the pattern and started to talk about it. Why does this matter? Boy, it matters a lot, because no one gets to the corner office by sitting on the side, not at the table. This book's for women of all ages, young girls who are thinking about what their futures might be, people who might be out of the workforce thinking about coming back, or even someone who's a volunteer and wants to lean in and take on more leadership. To encourage women to really believe in themselves and believe in their dreams, and to help men do their part to form a more equal world by making sure that all of us have opportunities based on our passions and interests, not just based on our gender. Part of what I'm hoping Lean In will do is really start a conversation in every workplace, in every company, in every school, to start thinking about gender differently. I believe the world would be a better place if half our companies and half our countries were run by women and half our homes are run by men. This is about believing in yourself.
So Nuala Murphy started the conversation in Belfast by starting up a circle, and that circle was only 4 or 5 friends getting together, and before we know it, it's grown into what it is. Obviously it's taken hard work to get there, but circles are where it all begins, and that's what it's all about. And circles are just the small groups of network support that you can gather around yourself. So any one of us can start a circle where we are, and I'll share with you the ones that are already up and running in case you're interested. So a circle is 8 to 12 members who meet regularly, and the focus is on learning and growing together, supporting each other, cheering each other on, listening to each other moan, cry, whatever it is we need, that's what it's there for. So they're small peer groups and they are amazingly powerful. What we have now is a chapter. So a chapter is when your circle or groups of circles reach 100 or more, and it's really about bringing together circles so that they can network, learn from each other. And with Allstate as a partnership, we've grown this chapter into a place where you've got events like this where we can offer bigger learning for you, exchange ideas and host this and other events. So that's really what's at the backbone of it. We can see what's the Belfast picture looks like. So we've got this chapter, which is now over 1,000 members and growing, which is amazing. So thank you all for joining up. It just means we get bigger and better and stronger and can help each other even more. And within that then we've lots of circles. So Allstate have set up 3 circles in the last few months, which is great. They're up and running. And then there's circles doing different types of activity. So there's local ones like East Belfast and Lisbon Ladies. There's Women in Creative, our own one for entrepreneurs, so women that are self-employed or run their own businesses. We have a book club, Women in Tech. So if you see your tribe, you can go on the hub and ask to join up to a specific circle. If you don't see your tribe there and you would like to create one, then you can always start your own circle. The hub is the website online, and we've also got the Facebook group as well. So that's where we can have a bit more interaction and discussion. So if you haven't joined up, you must all be on the hub or you wouldn't have been invited here today. But if you haven't joined the Facebook group, it's a great place to get to know each other informally as well. So go on and have a look at that. And we're also going to be posting, we're Facebook Living at the moment to the page, and we're going to be posting some of the exercises and continuing the discussion after the event. So it'd be great if you get on there and chip into that. So we're going to pick it up, I guess, to do something now, and that's have a discussion. Because Lean In isn't about us standing up here telling you how to do everything. It's about you working together, having the discussions to understand how can I be even better than I already am. So this is all about leaning in. We want to get you to think about, well, what is that? What does that mean? So what examples have you seen of it at work? Maybe it's yourself. Maybe you've seen other people leaning in for themselves or for others. So what does that look like? What does it look like for a man to lean in? Because if we just do this on our own, nothing is going to change. So the whole ethos of Lean In Together is about, you know, men and women working together to help us be more equal. And then have a think about how can you lean in for your friends and colleagues. So there's part of it's doing it for yourself, and part of it is providing support to others. So what we want you to do is take 15 or so minutes to have a chat about those questions and think about what does it look like, what does it sound like, what does it feel like to lean in. So you don't need to have read the book to answer those questions, but if you have, it doesn't hurt. And off you go, have a chat, meet each other. If you haven't introduced yourselves, do that. And I will say goodbye to our Facebook Livers. Thank you for watching.